As everybody is aware, you can see this is the new bracket system with the game-changing cards. We've already seen this. This has been great. This is a video from the other day. What's hard about this, and everybody is pointing fingers and being negative about it, and I'm going to be a little bit negative at first too. It's wonky. It's clunky. There's broad generalizations, and I don't think all of these game-changer cards are... I don't think the list is complete. I think there's a lot of other game changer cards that could make this list, very easily make the list. But I also want to go into, just on this video specifically, we're going to go to Moxfield. Moxfield gives you a ranking, and I've already seen over the past 3 days that it has changed a lot of stuff with the rankings. So if you go back into, all my decks here, you see all the brackets and all their ranks. And let's zoom in a little bit here. Brackets and rankings and other stuff. These are things from the channel, or that will be on the channel, or they have been on the channel. A lot of them have been given certain rankings, and some of them I do not agree with. But this is very new. They even said in the things, it says beta right up here. Definitely beta. Let's see, can I actually move over there? Yeah, so just to show you, it says beta right here. This is not the final thing. So we can't judge the whole thing too harshly just yet. But Moxfield specifically, don't trust it yet. That's the title of the video, right? You shouldn't trust this exactly how it is right now. So here's one that just came up on the channel, Slin's Horde. Here we've got all the stuff, whatever, right? Go watch the video here if you haven't already. This has been put into a bracket 3, even though this might be one of my better decks. I think every time I play with people, it's this one and my Niv-Mizzet Perrin deck, which is also a bracket 3. However, these decks, they're the most consistent I have. They're the best things. There's no, if we go into right in here, I don't think there's any restrictions. I don't have any mass land denial, and I don't chain extra turns. Why are those things the things holding that back from being a level 4? Like, some decks don't need extra turn cards. So then why is that one of the stipulations? And why is no mass land denial part of the stipulations? Like, if I don't have it, why is it not a 4 now? I don't understand that. And chaining extra turns, sure, but I don't see why that, like, if that's part of a combo, I could see that being a reason why. And it says chaining extra turns, so I'm assuming that's part of a combo. But it's a little bit confusing to me, because if I don't have any extra turns, like in Niv-Mizzet, I just don't run those cards. I don't need to. If I can just, and there's technically like a 2-card combo in here. If I come down to my finishers, right, you can use Curiosity or Ophidian Eye, and you're doing a bunch of extra damage. If I get that on the wrong turn, it's not a game ender. But if I get it on the right turn, or I have a 3-card combo with like Solfim or Dictate of the Twin Gods that do double damage, that's a 2-card combo. Boom. It wins the game. Or it's maybe 3-card combo if you've got these two. If you do it later in the game, everybody's lower on life. It's a 2-card combo. But it's putting it here, up to 3 extra turn cards, no 2-card combos, but it says it's untracked. But again, Moxfield is working on this. I've seen a bunch of changes. It's very, very interesting and fascinating. I'm in awe of your team over there at Moxfield. The Moxfield team, you guys are awesome. You're doing great. I've already seen, like I said, there's like this whole disclaimer was not there 2 or 3 days ago. The being able to change this to being able to this is the right thing. So you disable the commander bracket. This wasn't here the other day. Auto estimate, this whole thing was not here. You could automatically set it to where you wanted it, or you could just set it manually. That was not there a few days ago. So it's like you can change it easily if you think it's more of a, like, I'd say Niv-Mizzet's more of a 4, but then if we go back into here, it's like there's no restrictions other than the ban list. That's what I'm thinking in my brain. It's higher powered commander, time to go wild. But if we go into Moxfield's version, you know, we can come in here to a couple of CEDH decks that I pulled from a CEDH tournament list, right? Those top 8 type things. I pulled like this Kinnan deck. It puts it at a bracket 4, but look at all the game changers and look at all the things. But it doesn't have mass land denial or extra turns, so it bumps it down to a 4. Like, what? Why is that a thing? But if I go to this other one, I think this is an older one because it still has Mana Crypt and Dockside, but it puts it at a bracket 5 because it's got some of these extra turn cards. Like, I don't see why extra turns specifically is the problem. You know, I go into my, let's minimize this. So if I go into, I just put this in, oops. I go into Madomai's Insight. This is my Madomai deck that's on the channel already, but I think I'm going to make an updated version of it. This puts it at a level 4, but it's got a bunch of extra turn cards. I guess it doesn't have the land denial or game changers. So like, I just think there's some weird categories going on that don't make a whole lot of sense currently, and it's hard to put these all together. You can't quantify the sheer number of like combo pieces, and I don't think we will ever have a quantization, I guess, of all of the decks and all the combos and what turns you get things on. And, you know, like it's an nigh infinite amount, a near infinite amount of combos that could happen in any given game, in any circumstance, because you had all the cards in your deck that comes with X cards that are in your deck, but what are the 3 other players in your pod playing? That highly affects everything else. What is going to happen, right? There are so many different factors that go into this that can't be quantified. It's easier to quantify in like standard and modern. There are top decks for a reason. They have, you know, it's just 1v1. People know exactly pretty much what they're going to get the majority of the time. You can track that. There's almost half the amount of cards in the deck. You can calculate that easier. You can, I know, okay, I'm going to have 30% chance of getting this card, so therefore I'm going to do this, right? So it's a little bit easier. But in Commander, it's a whole different ballpark. And some of the stuff, like, it's just so vastly wild. I don't know. Somebody in the comments brought up, and my last video brought up, like, some of these cards on this game changer list. Like, why are some on here and why are some not? Like, I can understand why these ones are, right? Don't get me wrong. But why is, like, I don't know. There's cards. What did he say? What was his example? It was okay, before he finds that comment, Arcane Fortress. Have you guys seen these? Have you seen the quality in these things? They're insane. Look, right here on the screen, we've got the awesome deluxe version of the white one that I was just showing. I have the regular version, but this one has the extra dice box on the side. It's all magnetic. They're very strong magnets. Fantastic quality. If you're not using an Arcane Fortress deck box, I don't know what you're going to be doing. So go to the description of this video, check out Arcane Fortress's website, get some great deals in there, and get yourself a pristine, awesome deck box. These are great. You will not regret it. Yeah, here's a comment here just on my last video. So some tiny dragon saying, right, they've got this, their friend has this knows a guy at the game store, plays goblins when it turns 3, but is considered a tier 1 because it doesn't have certain cards in it. And then his Myra deck can function without game changers, but still have a much bigger game change than Fierce Guardianship because, you know, Possibility Storm. If you get Possibility Storm out, that's a crazy combo. That goes so hard. There's these certain cards that are like, what? Why aren't these on the list? Like, I was just looking, like, why isn't, you know, for colorless, why isn't Helm of the Host on there? That goes insane with so many different commanders, like Godo, infinite. That's 2-card combo. Why isn't Godo on here? Why isn't You know, why isn't Helm of the Host on there, right? I think there's a lot of factors, again, that go into it. And I'm being negative, and I'm sorry. I have a lot of respect for the Commander team, the people that are putting this all together. It's just hard to quantify, and they're doing their best. So don't go and give them flack. This is not like, oh, they're doing a bad job, right? I think this is a very good job. I think this is a very good thing in the right direction, and I think it is better than the 10 part system. It feels a little restrictive in these with only 5, but I think 10 was too much because everyone's like, oh, my deck's just a 7, right? And I think 3.5, like 3 to 4, like that range, that's the new 7. It's like if you're like, oh, it's whatever, you know, it's a 3. But this description is also misleading. It's beyond the strength of an average precon. It's like, is that an updated precon? Is that a deck I built that's kind of like a precon? So it's like some of the wording I think could be updated. You know, I've got Jared's Rainbow Dominion here. This is also on the channel. Check that out. It has been updated actually since then. But this puts it at a bracket 2. Why? This is a pretty consistent deck. I've got a bunch of stuff I'm constantly searching for lands, or I've got the like Chromatic Orrery that can make stuff multicolored. Case of the Shattered Pact changes the game. A lot of people get scared of Case of the Shattered Pact. It's a really good card. Leyline of the Guild Pact. If I get that out turn 1, right, then Case of the Shattered Pact goes off already. Plus everything's just all colors, which goes with Jared. And then, or like everything else, everything synergizes really well in this deck. But then there's also something like, you know, I got Prismatic Omen out. All of a sudden I've got all the colors of mana I need. Also, where are lands in this? Like in this deck, I actually own a Savannah and it's in the deck. That's the best land, one of the best lands in the game, right? The original 10 of those lands are some of the best in the game. And I've got a Savannah in there. But it's still a bracket 2, right? Land bases, I think, play a huge part, right? I've got Savannah, I've got Mana Confluence, I've got some Tri-lands, I've got, right, you know, Fabled Passage is fantastic. I got, you know, I don't have the best of the best lands, but I've got a few really, really good ones that change the game, right? And I've got these mana filters that work really well with Jared, and so I don't know. I think land bases need to go into this too. Like, does this need to be they're not going to change it at this point, but like, does this need to be like a 6-tier system so that there's a little bit more play? I don't know. It's funky. 5's probably fine. I think most people are just going to say, look, I've got a 3, right? I've got a very middle of the lane deck. Here it is. Also, everybody's perception comes in differently. So anyway, all I'm saying is don't trust Moxfield's thing just yet. It is getting much, much better every single day, and I'm stunned by how fast they're changing things and getting things ready. So very good job, Moxfield team. You guys are doing awesome. And the people there at Wizards of the Coast and the new commander committee, doing a great job. Thank you guys. And thank you everybody so much here for watching. And make sure you guys go down to the description, click on the TCGplayer affiliate link and the Milkman Proxies affiliate link, as well as that Arcane Fortress. Arcane Fortress link. Click on those. It really actually does help the channel out. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week for your weekly dose of magic.